Now, making mixtape covers is not the only way to make money as a graphic designer using Photoshop. And today I'm gonna tell you about another one, and not only that, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it and give you some good information like that. So as you may already know, before all of this, I was a graphic designer. And when I say all of this, I'm talking about YouTube. And one thing that I'm so happy that everything I've ever tried in my life all came full circle when I decided to take YouTube serious. And what I'm talking about is thumbnails. Thumbnails are the image that people see when they decide if they're gonna click on your video. Because I was already proficient in Photoshop, I just do my own. However, there are tons of YouTubers cannot make their own thumbnails, or if they can't make it the quality that they need to, right? I'm gonna just be real with you. I've seen some really resourceful people in Canva, and I'm not saying that it's not a good program. My personal opinion is that it can only take you so far on a thumbnail. And even if you're already currently a graphic designer and you're just looking for another type of client, YouTubers definitely need thumbnails, and they need them fast and they need them good. We about to go ahead and jump on the computer, and I'm gonna show you actually how I make one of my thumbnails. We are in the Photoshop program, all right, and show you how to make my thumbnails, all right? So the first thing I would of course do in Photoshop is come over here to File and New and make a new document, right? And we're gonna do width 1920 by 1080, right? And then we're gonna come resolution 300 pixels per inch. We got our canvas to start laying things down on. So the very first thing I do is, the way I create thumbnails, bro, is I think of, okay, you know, I think of what is relevant to. So if I was doing maybe a sneaker video or something like that, then I would have something sneaker related as the background. So let's say we're doing a sneaker video, right? So, all right, so I would go to Google and I would search, let's do maybe sneaker closet background or whatever, right? And this could be anything for you. Let's say, okay, let's say I'm going to a sneaker store, right? And me, I like to find something that's kind of gonna stand out and be cool. I would take this image, I would copy, and then I go into Photoshop and paste it in. Now, I have a previous video where I kind of go over the basics, but this is gonna be for my people who've already kind of learned the basics and can follow along. And I'll even make it simple for somebody who's even trying to do this for the first time. But you're simply gonna hit Command T while you have this layer selected over here. Hit Command T and then scale this up, right? And then boom, that's how I would kind of do my background, and that's how I would start off. And so next, I would bring the picture of myself into the fold, right? So I actually have a picture already that I'm gonna use just for the sake of this video, and I'm gonna drag that in and hit enter. Now, because Photoshop is such an advanced program now, I might not have to do this the hard way, but because my shirt and the chair I'm sitting in is kind of dark, I might have to anyway, but we're gonna see. You're gonna come over here. I like to hit W, and this is basically the wand tool, the magic wand tool, the quick selection tool, object selection tool. And I'm gonna click here. This is a good enough selection for me. So once I have this selected, I'm simply gonna come over here, hit this little button down here at the bottom, and then boom, now that background is gone. Now, a thumbnail like this, I'm gonna be real with you. A thumbnail like this, I already know just by looking at it is gonna work because my facial expression is kind of strong on this image, right? And so, especially if I was to do something controversial as far as the title, I think that this would actually make for a good thumbnail, and I'm actually gonna save this. I've never used this exact shot, I don't think, as far as for my thumbnails, as far as this set of photos I took, right? So I could actually retouch my skin if I wanted to. I'm not really ashamed of how I look. I don't know, bro. It's weird. But anyway, all right, so what I'm gonna do is come to this layer, right click it, and convert it to a smart object. Right now, there's something unique is going on this photo. It's gonna be rare that your image and the background that you choose almost kind of look like color wise look like they belong together. Like, I could darken myself up a little bit more to make it look like I'm really in this room, but this is actually already pretty good as far as the colors. I actually wanna, on my thumbnails, bro, I actually wanna like cause separation, right? I wanna stand out from the background, right? And so most of the time I would start by doing what people search and call the outline effect, which is really in Photoshop just a stroke. I would start by doing that first, and you're gonna see why. I would come to my layer of myself. I would double click that to bring up the layer styles. You can also right click it, go up to blending options, and also have it selected like that. But you're simply gonna come down here to stroke. You're gonna go to outside if it's not already selected. and then you're gonna change the color, in this case to white, right? And then you're gonna play with the size of that stroke until it's where you want it, right? And the reason I do this first, let me explain that to you, because I need to see how much this causes me to jump out from the background, because I don't know if anybody's told you, but it's not just a trend. It's not just, I mean, it is a trend, but it's not just a trend. The reason you do that is because you want your image to pop out from the rest of the image. And so it kind of does right now, but I want it to pop a little more, right? And so what I'm gonna do is come back here to my layer style, and I'm gonna do a drop shadow as well. And I'm gonna put my opacity up to 100 just so I can see it. And I'm gonna put my size up so that I can see it, and then play with the distance, which I still can't see much of a, and then, oh, my spread. Play with the spread, right? So you kind of wanna bring the spread down to where it's somewhat of a natural like blur of darkness, if that makes sense, right? And then boom, then you can mess with everything else, right? So I like it right there, and I'm gonna play with the opacity. I like to bring it all the way back down first, because one thing I learned, it's better to slightly underdo an effect that you're trying to do than to completely overdo it, because when you completely overdo it, you can ruin it and make it look bad, right? So I used to start from here and then go down to where I want it, but now I start here and build up to where I want it, right? Because then you'll be able to see where that line is, to where, oh, okay, that's too much. Like for me, I say right around 50 is good and subtle, right? And you could say even like, oh, but I don't see a difference, right? But if you come toggle this on and off, there is a difference, right? So you kind of want that subtle, and you could honestly even go a little up to 60, right? And still be decent, right? And so I like this, but it still doesn't jump out as much to me. So now what I'll do is come over here to this background layer, which is just layer 1 in this sequence, and I'd come here to adjustments, and then I'd come over here to hue and saturation, and I'd just boom, bring the lightness down, bring the lightness of this image down, right? So now when I zoom out, okay, now I stand out from this image, and that's honestly a little too dark. I still want it to look somewhat natural, so I'm gonna come back up a little more. And you might say, well, that doesn't look like much of a difference. But once again, if you toggle this on and off, you can see the difference. It's definitely a little darker, right? So now let's talk about how I do my text, right? First, I'm gonna move myself over, because I like to kind of have a lot of room for my text. And I also do not like the stroke on this. I don't like the stroke. I'd like it to be a little thicker right there. No, that's too thick. Okay, boom, I can live with it right there. And I can honestly clean up the edges on this, and that would probably make me feel better. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're not gonna do it, right? So now, text, right? Well, on your thumbnail text, I've always thought, just me coming into YouTube and what I know as a graphic designer is, as far as fonts and everything like that, is, bro, you want to kind of use something big, use something blocky, use something that someone could read far away. Because here's one thing that you got to realize when you are making thumbnails for YouTube, right? Not 80% of people viewing your thumbnail on their device, bro, on their phone. And so if you go to your phone right now and look at the size of the thumbnails, I mean, they still take up the width of your phone, but at the same time, bro, like, it's not as big as when you're designing it here. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. It's got to be something somebody can sort of see at it if they were looking at it from a distance, basically. So I'm gonna come over here. I would use any font. All right, so I take a font, right, and I would type, let's say this video, I'm asking, are all those shoes behind me fake? I would say, are these fake, right? And of course, I wouldn't just leave it like this, right? So if you've seen my videos, you kind of see the text effect I use, and I'm about to give y'all basically some free game on how to do that same effect, right? So you come over here, you come to your blend options, right? And you go to drop shadow. But you're not gonna do it like this, right? Because this is you see, honestly, you see thumbnails like this, right? And that pops, but what I'm gonna show you next is gonna pop even more, right? So basically you go to drop shadow, and then what you do is you come all the way down on the sides, you come all the way up on the opacity, and then you drag over here with your mouse, and now you can actually drag these shadows, right? So you're gonna kind of place it kind of offset this way a little bit, and then you're gonna hit OK. And then what you're gonna do is come over here, and you're gonna go to convert to smart object. Then you're gonna take this smart object, do the same thing, double click it, and this time you're gonna do a stroke. And this is gonna put a stroke around that. And if you had done this, if you had tried to do a stroke, because you're probably like, bro, I could just do a drop shadow and then a stroke and then do this. But no, you would have wanted the stroke to be outside of this, right? You would have wanted the stroke to be outside of the drop shadow, not inside of it or in line with it. So that's why you do it that way. So you change the color on it to black, you have that effect. Now I'm gonna drag this over here, and I'm gonna first bring it to the top, but I'm gonna drag this over here so you can kind of see, what we've sort of done, right? So this is my text effect. This is how I put text as far as on my thumbnails, right? And so also I most of the time always put the text behind me as far as in layers, just to add a layer of realism, right? But then I do the Command T, right? I would hold the Command key or the Control key on a Windows, and just boom, take this side square right here, hold Shift, and just drag this up a little bit, just to give it a little, give it a little something else. And let's say I didn't want to leave it white, right? Because I feel like it looks too dull. So I'm gonna come in here, right? How you can edit this is you could come in here to this button right here, double click that, open it, and now you have it back to you have it back to the state that it was at first, right? So I'm gonna double click this. I'm gonna do a gradient overlay. And I'm gonna come over here and I wanna do green. I like green text, me personally, Boom, do a green, hit OK. Command or Control S to save. Just simply exit out of that, and then boom. And then boom. There you have it. Now, bro, you see how quick and easy that was? Like, I'm telling you right now, if I could find somebody that was as good as or better than me, then I'd pay anywhere from 20 to 80 bucks per thumbnail. And trust me, I've actually went to people that I felt were better than me, and that's what they're charging, bro. So here's something else I wanted to clear up from my last design video, bro. So let me know in the comments what other type of tutorials or how to make money with design videos y'all want to see, and I'm gonna deliver them to you, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching me, giving me a chance, man. Love y'all, bro. Let's get it. Hey, man, thank you so much for watching. If you like the content on my channel, I want to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you're interested in learning how to acquire limited items, join my Discord. Not only do we share the information in there, but we also raffle off items, do giveaways, and all type of lit stuff. So join me in that Discord. Also, follow me on all my socials. I love y'all, man. Let's get it.
Mr. President, this looks really bad, sir. The doctor's research was leaked and it has left unrest within the country. This is not good. The plan backfired, as I predicted. Mr. President, you need to speak on this or there will be riots. We cannot afford riots on top of this. The president wants all samples brought to the laboratory at once for immediate testing. This could be dangerous, people. Very dangerous.